2. Okay. Here we go. The Russian botanist Nikolai Vavilov spent 1924 in Afghanistan to study their farming culture. He noticed that in Herat province, they had hundreds of huge dovecotes. Apart from food, why did they need so many pigeons?
Carrier pigeons? I suppose it wouldn't have much of a postal service in
messages.
Afghanistan.
Is it something to do with fertilization, maybe?
That's what farming culture. That makes sense. Guano.
What would you grow in Afghanistan? Maybe cotton or poppies, maybe?
Wait, I'm edging towards the fertilizer answer, I think, because I think that fits with farming culture. Because I suppose it's mostly desert, isn't it? I suppose so. It probably wouldn't get much livestock.
They wouldn't need. They'd need more fertilizer than messages, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't need hundreds of messages, that's for sure.
No. How are your crops doing? All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Nick, your answer, please.
Fertilizer.
Yeah, that's right. Well done. And you got the right reasons too. It's Afghanistan. It's a very sort of difficult area to cultivate anything, and so they used the bird droppings to help put nutrients back into the soil. Now, this I couldn't find a 1924 picture from Afghanistan, but I do have one from Egypt, which gives you the sort of rough idea. So you can see some of these things are as big as like a 2 or 3 story building, and there's must be 150 of them there.
They've got more room than I have. That's not fair.
And each of those must have several hundred birds in each. So if you're walking back from work, I imagine you've got to take an umbrella with you every day.
Or at least wear a fez.
Well, it's pretty good luck, at least, if you do get hit. So, I don't know how it works out.
We've got very lucky people in Egypt there, yeah. But it's so important that they have to even include it as part of their urban planning when they're developing a new area of the city. They've got to build in some of these things in the right places, otherwise it won't work for their farmers. Okay, 6-4, so you just need one more to win. 3 questions left, and stand to pick.
Number 4, please.
Number 4. In 1933, activist Chowdhury Ramat Ali wrote in his pamphlet Now or Never that 30 million Muslim brethren lived in 5 eastern regions of the British Raj: Punjab, Afghania, Kashmir, Sindh, and Balochistan. How is this approximate region known today?
I have no idea. I don't want to say it immediately in case it's not quite right, but I think it's Pakistan. Because that's... actually, it might be wrong, actually.
There's a lot more than 30 million people in Pakistan, surely.
1933, though.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I'm sure somewhere that it was a country that was made up. It wasn't... It was sort of put together from offshoots. It's an offshoot of India.
But if you look at the first letters, P-A-K, that's a good start.
Yeah, it's good.
S and
B.
Yistan at the end.
Yeah. That's. I quite like my answer. That wouldn't sound too arrogant.
Yeah, I don't have anything better to say, so go for it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it started off as an offshoot of India. It broke off.
Okay, Nick, for the win, what are you going to go with?
Pakistan.
It's right.
Hey.
So yeah, you could either go and look at the marvelous clue I hid in there of all the first letters, or you could just go 1933. That's about right. Yes, so yeah, just to spell it out there, that's how it worked. It was Pakistan, which is what he came up with, and then a little bit later, someone just said, well, it would be easier to say, if you slipped an I in there. So basically the name from Pakistan is an acronym. I was stunned by when I first came across that fact.
Good fact.
So that means you've won, and it's 7-4. But as we always do, we always polish off the last remaining questions. So, Lewis, why don't you pick one?
Number 11.
Number 11. Okey-doke. According to dictionary definitions, I am the same length as something I ought to avoid. Name both me and it.
Ooh, right. It's a picture of a fish. Why is that? Trout. I am the same length as something I ought to avoid.
I want to avoid a trap.
Is that length of fish, or is it length of word?
Oh, yes.
What? Foot. Well, that makes sense. You don't really stud them, do you?
No. Yeah.
But name me in it. It's not. It's a different word. There's two separate answers we need here.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it? It's
I do not know that fish. Carp, trout, pike. Pike?
Pike. Stand on it, couldn't you? That'd be bad. That's a length thing. I think that's not a bad guess.
Well, it's the only guess you got, so what are you going to go with?
Pike and pike.
Okay, so it's not right.
No.
So it's according to dictionary definitions. Okay, so this fish and something it tries to avoid, if you look at the definitions for both words, it comes up with the same length in terms of like this is a particular length. Okay,
right.
Name something that a fish might try and avoid.
A fishing line.
Net.
Line. Net.
Well, what's at the end of the line? Well, also, what is the line part of?
A rod.
A rod.
Okay. A rod is a length as well.
Mm-hmm. And do you know any other lengths that might also be names of fish? Never see not. Okay, I'll tell you the answer is it's a perch.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so the dictionary definition for a perch is 16.5 feet or 5.5 yards. It's an imperial measure. And quite by coincidence, it's also got another name, which is rod or indeed pole. Actually, if you want to, you can have a fishing pole. That's quite acceptable as well. But perch and rod are probably the better known two. So, according to the dictionary definitions, they are the same length, 5.5 yards. So there we are. Okay. So it would have been 7-5, and we've got number 8 left to go, which is this. Name the Hollywood star from his biography. While less than a week old, his French home was hit by a World War I bomb, so he was smuggled aboard a ship bound for America. 7 years later, he was earning $6,000 a week from acting in movies and his own radio show. His 30 films are said to have saved Warner Brothers. He died in the arms of Jean Harlow on August the 10th, 1932.
Is it not something like Charlie Chaplin or Marcel Marceau? Charlie Chaplin would certainly be that sort of time, but he has his own radio show, though.
It's got to be someone very, very young, because if he was less than a week old and it was World War
yeah.
One,
is it?
He was only 20.
Is it Lassie? Because Lassie's actually a male dog. And if that'd be about 15, 20 years, 7 years later. If he's less than a week old, and then 7 years later in the films, that would sound about right. It's a radio show. Actually, now doesn't make sense. Dog.
Lassie
Can a dog have a radio show?
There might have been a Lassie radio show. And there was a radio show for everything back then.
I mean, it's just World War One would have been mid-1910s, and he died in 1932, so he wouldn't be an old person. He'd be very young still.
Okie doke. Give me an answer, please.
I'll hazard a guess at Lassie.
Okay. Hit the crossbar.
No.
Oh.
Yeah. Lassie was 1940s onwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got the basic joke, was that he obviously, I think he died age 13, but it could have been anybody 13 to 18. So whoever it was someone who died as a teenager. And apart from Shirley Temple, I can't think of any. Well, she only died a couple of years ago, I think. I can't think of anybody else that would fit the bill. So you got the basic.
Dying in someone's arms. I can sort of imagine them being sort of literally being held by someone.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I think she was just a neighbour, and she sort of just popped round and comforted him in his last day.
Did you ever listen to a Rin Tin Tin radio show?
So apparently it did exist, and he did his own sound effects. Incredible thing, isn't it? Okay, so if you'd picked different numbers, it would have been extremely exciting. As it was, it finished with you still in front anyway, so it's all in good fun. But 7-6 is the official score. And so it's a win for the team this time. If you want to send in your questions for any future episode, we would love to have them. Please send them into questions@QWERTYUP.co.uk. And if you don't know what QWERTYUP means, you're probably not the right sort of person to send in questions for the show. So until next time, thanks very much to Daniel Peake.
Goodbye.
Lewis Murphy.
Bye-bye.
And victorious team captain, Nick Gates.
Goodbye.
I've been David Bodycam. Thanks for listening, and see you again next time. Bye-bye.